This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Looking forward to this. We are a little, about almost 6 weeks away from a great boxing card.
Unbelievable boxing. It's going to be, so it's every match has at least one Cuban fighter.
Yes, I saw
It's
that.
like Cuba, a Cuban fighter versus Nicaraguan,
Mexican.
Mexican. There's a couple of there are a few that Cuban versus Cuban.
Yes.
So it's going to be an all Cuban card, so to speak. At least at every match. And January 28th, live. It's back. Live boxing is back at Hialeah Park. That's basically what the message is to your viewers.
I know it's going to be on ESPN too, right? Also,
Yeah, ESPN Streaming Plus.
but I didn't mean by ESPN two. I meant by it's also on ESPN. That's what I meant.
There's like 14 ESPNs.
Yeah, there's
So you got to qualify.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what ESPN it is on nowadays. You know why?
It's the most
Because it's a smart TV, dude. Everybody gets on anyway. So
which streaming
Plus
service
News, whatever it is, you're on ESPN.
YouTube,
Most of us
tube,
can.
that tube, whatever tube you want.
Yeah. So one way or another, you'll get it if you have that, of course. But better. There's nothing better than going to a boxing match.
Oh, it's old school fun.
Yes,
it's old school fun.
Right.
First of all, the crowd's going to be pretty excited, right?
Of course,
we're already getting a lot of play on the ticket sales.
Of course.
So it's going to be a nice crowd. And when you're watching a live boxing match, I know this is going to sound a little odd, but for people that haven't watched it, when you see a boxing match and it's a good toe-to-toe match, it's really exciting. And then this sounds a little crazy, and I don't like to say it too often, but when you see somebody get knocked out on the canvas, it's like, oh, wow, it's this thing you don't really see, and then you hear the thud. It's a little bit weird. It's some people, it's like, that sounds disgusting, but it certainly is a pretty interesting thing to watch. And certainly you clap when he gets back up. But when you see it actually happen or hear it happen in live time, real time, live in person, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, I've been to so many boxing matches over the years, and sometimes when I get to go to the Vegas ones. There's nothing like that,
Those big ones there. I mean, look, I grew up, working at Trump Plaza when it was the Tyson days. When I say grew up, I was an executive in the hotel sponsoring the matches, and you're talking about 2 or 3 weeks of like really leading up. Press conferences in Fifth Avenue in New York, and press conferences that break out into fights and. Don King's hair, 18 feet in the air. And I used to, for years, I was like, why does that man's hair do what it does? It's like a very odd look.
What he does is he wakes up in the morning, right? And he puts his finger in a socket.
I think that.
And then that's it. And it's just permanent like that.
I should have talked about this with you years ago because you've answered the question. I've been trying to find out because in real life. It's weird. Like it's come on, dude. How do you do that?
Yeah. But somehow or another, he survives the socket every day, and he's able to do it. And you know what? With boxing, going back to the sport of boxing, I just wish they went back to the basics that the UFC follows now, because Dana White doesn't screw around. He sets up the best fights, consistently, and to me, boxing is such a great sport. That if you're able to set up the best fights, they would become the bigger sporting events that we have in the world, period. And I don't know how boxing hasn't figured that out, that the promoters have kind of destroyed all of this.
In defense of boxing kind of comes and goes with the character names. You know what I mean? Like, in the early years, and I guess it was the 70s, it was, the 60s and 70s, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, all that kind of stuff. And then the years that I was involved, when our casino hotel was sponsoring all those Tyson fights, there were some other great fighters too.
Well, of course,
there was a lot of good names. Oscar De La Hoya,
right?
Great. George Foreman was kind of like
Hearns, Trinidad, Duran, Arguello. Dude, I know.
Camacho.
Yeah,
one of the greatest. You want to watch
character? Yeah,
you want to watch. You should almost watch the film.
It was a good movie. I saw a documentary.
Well, the movie, but just watch old fights of that Hector was in.
No, I was at those fights,
and you want to see the 10 minutes prior to to the match.
Yeah.
You know, coming out with a fur coat and doing the razzle dazzle. It looked like it was like right now.
Macho is a really good fighter early in his career, man. He was a really entertaining fighter, man.
And we had some great ones. You know, Macho versus Duran.
Sure.
We had George Foreman. Then there was a guy that they had years ago. Anyhow, the fact is there was bigger names back then, and I think UFC is kind of sort of bit into that market, and that's it's unfortunate for boxing, but still this boxing match is going to be something special because we're in South Florida, we're in Miami-Dade.
Yeah,
it's a Cuban card, and every match is going to be just really interesting to watch,
and the start of others to come too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's the beauty.
We were talking with the ownership yesterday. John Bernetti and Steve Bernetti own Hialeah Park, and John was saying yesterday, he goes, it fits for us. We've done well with it, and it fits for us. So that's a real positive thing, and this is going to be one of our better ones.
And what I like is what you guys are doing overall. You're bringing more things to this. This is such an amazing property.
Oh, we got
in the middle of
too.
Miami. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just like a property this size in Miami does not exist everywhere.
No, it doesn't.
Like maybe Doral and this, and I don't know. What else? This kind of size.
Yeah, this. Look, it's always been special. It's still special, and it's our job to make sure that we continue to
grow it.
Yeah, do great things and grow it. But back to the next topic, and that's the wise guy.
Oh,
listen, me and him were going head to head. We were yelling and screaming. The Jersey guys kind of do that. That's like a bonding thing. You know what I mean? If you had walked in on this, you would have probably like got in the middle and broke us up. You know what I mean? But I would look. I want to make sure that your listeners understand. In the last 2 weeks, he's 6 for 6. 6 for 6. The Jersey wise guy.
Yes, he is.
I think
had another good week last week.
You know what? When in the argument, when he was giving me his picks for this week, I said, "What'd you do? Did you go and drink for the last 6 days and go on a binge? Did you bang your head?" I'm a little bit crazy, not crazy about his picks. But he's on a roll. 6. He's on a roll. So who am I, right? Who am I to say?
That's what I'm saying. Because last week when I'm watching the picks he gave us, I'm like, this guy keeps hitting on all these picks, man.
He's like, how's he doing this, right? And so he's giving me some weird ones this week.
There was one I was against last week. Which one was that? I wasn't. There was one of them. What was the 3 he gave last week? I'll tell you. I'll know which one it was.
Let me go back a little. Remember, I have done a lot of Chiefs, Broncos, and Bucks. Chiefs, Broncos, and Bucks.
Was it the Broncos giving a lot of points?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I didn't like the Broncos.
Yeah, it was the Broncos one. Yeah. I think it was the Broncos one. I like the Bucks one for sure.
Yeah.
I think it was the Broncos one.
Yeah. So
that's the one I didn't like, and he hit it.
I can't wait to hear your opinion on the Jersey Wise Guy picks this week.
Okay, go ahead.
I think he's been drinking for 6 days consecutively. I think he's bumped his head, and we were going toe to toe with it about it. And I have to add to the Jersey picks because I'm so wound up about this week. I have my own little pick.
Okay.
So it's just like a little side pick.
Okay.
For the viewers.
It's the Calabro connection.
It's just the Calabro connection pick.
Okay.
I looked at the line on Monday. I said, I love this game. I was right before I talked to the Jersey Wise guy. I said, he's got to have this game on his list. Then he didn't have it. I brought it up with him. We argued and screamed, and then we hugged and we said, okay, that's it. It's all good. Let's go. So wait till you hear these picks.
All right, let me hear the wise guys first.
I think the wise guy has he's 6 for 6 though. So what am I saying about the wise guy? And I got to be careful. He knows where I live, so I don't want to insult him. He is the Jersey Wise guy, so I got to be very careful.
Yeah.
So he likes the Panthers. Panthers Bills.
Yes.
He loves the Bills.
Okay, so
10.5 points though.
And they're not playing great.
Yeah, I know, but he thinks that the Panthers are fried.
They are.
They're burnt out. They're
bad.
The fourth quarter could be really bad.
Yeah. No, I can see that, and it's at home too. So
yeah, we were talking about this one. I was okay with him, but He said, I just don't like the 10.5 points.
I know. I get it.
You know,
It's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. But he said, look, this is a must, not just a must win, but it's a must win and a must get some confidence game for the Bills. And he says, if they start rolling, they're going to roll it up.
Right.
He thinks that's what he thinks. Next one, I got to tell you, tough game. I mean, I think he's picked the winner, but once again, another ridiculous points game. Cards at the Lions. At the Lions. He loves the Cards. He's saying Kyler Murray had an off game. Kingsbury's going to put
minus 13.
Minus 13.5 in my line. 13. This is insane. But he says he thinks the Lions are literally as bad as any team that he's seen in the last 2 years.
They are bad, but they tend to give him effort, and they tend to play hard, and they tend to lose close a lot of times.
But they look. I don't like the pick.
I'd be careful with that.
This is one I was arguing about.
It's at Detroit too.
Yeah, and it's at home. Yeah, with Detroit.
All right.
But he said, "No, it's even worse." So this was. I said, "Look, this is when I said I think he's been drinking on a bench for 6 days." Listen to this logic he gave me, and I love him because he's 6 for 6. But he said the line's going to go down, so bet that game. Bet that game as close to the game as possible because Hopkins is going maybe out.
Oh, he's out. He's out. He's done
right?
for the year.
Yes, he's got to get surgery. And
he's done for the year.
So
he's done. He might be available for the playoffs.
Right. So the 13.5, he's thinking it's going to go down.
I see.
See, that's where his thought process goes. So don't bet it at 13.5.
Wait for it to come down.
And watch it come down a little. And
I have it at 13 right now.
Yeah. When we were talking, it was 13.5. I guess the process has already happened. The wise guy would know that, right? So,
okay.
And the next one, this is one of those games. I like the losing side, but another crazy game. Falcons at the 49ers. He likes the 49ers. Another one, -9. I think it was -8.5 at one point, too.
Let's see what I have here. San Francisco, -9.5.
Yeah, so I had -9, right? So,
okay.
So now that's his picks. I just said, listen, wise guy, I'm going to give your picks because you're 6 for 6.
Yeah.
If you were 1 for 6, I probably wouldn't give your picks. I said, but I'm going to give your picks. Now I'm going to give the Calabro connection pick. So I like, and here, let me preface this pick.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan. I think he's a great quarterback. I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. I think there's a lot of people just don't like him because he does a lot of things off the field that kind of get, under people's skin a little. But he's a great quarterback. I think Davante Adams is one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, things are bad for Aaron Rodgers when Olivia Munn is complaining about your actions in bed. I mean,
yeah, that's a bad scene, right?
That woman doesn't motivate you to be Picasso in bed. I don't know what will, but go ahead. I'm sorry as I digress.
Well, my point, things. I guess there's reason for Aaron to complain, right?
Yes,
and to be he can be a little jerky, that kind of thing. But as a quarterback, and when he gets on a roll, man, it's
no, he's a great quarterback, dude.
It's like insane.
It's like watching a video game, is what I say. The way he throws the ball, it looks like a video game.
And it looks sort of effortless. It looks like, oh wow, there was a 35-yard pass completion, like it was nothing.
It's a dart.
It's like it was right there. Davante Adams is like, it's literally catches it in with almost what looks
it's like a video game.
Yeah, like
it's a video game. I'm telling you, it's a video game. It's crazy.
I love that pick. So that's okay. I hate to confuse the viewers and give a pick that is not consistent with the Jersey Wise guy, but that's it. The Bills, the Cards, and the Niners. Then the little side game. So if you're going to do 3 bets, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bet all 3 games. Then I'm going to do a 3-game parlay because I got to go with the Jersey Wise guy when he's on a roll. And then I'm going to do a 4-game parlay. This is what happens with sports betting. See, so I used to bet keep it 3 games. Then I went to 3 games and the parlay. Now I'm going 3 games, maybe 4 games, and a 3-game parlay and the 4-game parlay. So I went from 3 bets to like 6 bets, right? That's exactly what happens in sports betting. So I don't want to confuse the listeners, but I think they got a little something to noodle this week.
All right. So before I let you go, and I don't want to do this and beat this dead horse every week because I'm not going to do this every week. Maybe I'll do it every month or something. Any news on anything on the sports gaming front?
Zero.
Okay, yeah, I figured out.
Zero. I mean,
This is gonna be so slow.
I have a
That's
theory.
why I don't even want to do this every week
I
because
have a
I
theory,
know you
though.
told me it's gonna drag on.
But I was talking about it last night.
Okay,
So we were out at the dinner with a couple casino guys, and so what's going to happen, in my opinion. So
okay,
obviously, factually, the Seminole tribe is appealing the
of course.
judge's decision. That appeal process takes somewhere between 6 months and a year. It could take longer, right? That's 6 months would be pretty much a minor miracle. Nine. It would be. It's not
No,
going
I
to take
know.
6 months, right?
I'm just it's just
nine,
crazy.
9 months to a year is kind of normal, normal thing. If it took 15 months or a year and a half, don't be surprised, right?
We needed something for our home, and it took 7 months to get it.
Yeah, it's it's the legal system. It's
7 months,
blah,
dude.
blah blah blah. It's the best system in the world, but it has its challenges.
No, with COVID now and everything. Oh my
yeah.
God, that's delayed everything in the world, dude.
So here's what I think is going to happen, though. And look, if Steve Calabro knows this, I think that other people might have a similar opinion, and you got to plan for Plan B and Plan C and Plan D. That's what good lawyers do, and I'm sure the Seminole Tribe has some very good lawyers that are behind them on this. I think they're going to take the compact, and they're going to, because what happened was the judge ruled the compact invalid.
Right.
When that occurred, they technically are operating under the old compact, and they weren't allowed to start with craps and roulette.
I think I know where you're going to go now.
So I think what they're going to do is they're going to redo the compact, and they're going to carve out the sports betting thing in some way, shape, or form, so that the new compact immediately could be, not immediately, but this legislative session in Florida, they'll agree to a compact before the session. The session will make it law, and they'll get craps and roulette. This is a Steve Calabro opinion, so I mean,
right? No, I get.
Called me up and told me that.
I got you.
Right?
I think I know where you're going.
So they'll get those table games,
right?
And they'll get everything else except
the sports
betting.
Gaming,
and then sports betting will be a sort of
another
an
battle
to the compact, so to speak,
right?
And then we'll see. Now, what happens with sports betting is the 6 months, 9 months, a year. The weird part about that is, if it takes a year, you can take this to the bank. If it takes a year in the appeal court if they split it out and it takes a year for sports betting to get it resolved with the Seminoles, there's also a chance at that point we'll understand what DraftKings and FanDuel is doing.
Right.
They're going to get their 900,000 signatures. They're going to then probably very likely get it as a ballot question for the state. November will be the election, and we'll see if the state votes it. Now, it's 60%. This is a tough state. Down here, we're down in Hialeah.
No, it's a gimme here. It's a gimme here. It's about Central and Northern Florida, we all know Northern Florida is like not even resembles anything we are.
North Florida is the deep South.
Yeah,
and now the wild card on sports betting is Central Florida, because Central Florida is all the the Disney goody twos,
Disney people,
right? They're the Disney goody twos, but the Disney goody twos. And I say that sarcastically because they want to portray that, but they're not really goody twos. They'll poke your eyes out if it means they're going to make more money. Right?
It's a mean mouse.
And they're mean mouse, right? They're against gambling, but they're not against sports betting,
right?
Because they own ESPN. Oh, why is that? Maybe, what do I always say? Follow the path of money. They happen to own ESPN.
Yeah.
And by the way,
plus they have boats that have casinos.
That's another thing too. So think about this. So they're okay with me and you putting $500 on the Dolphins to win. Although I don't know, I do it this week because COVID's a little bit got them beat up. But they got $500 on the Dolphins. They're okay. No, I'm sorry, I'm saying it backwards. The Disney mouse is so against if Big O and Steve put $500 down on the Dolphins on the
roulette wheel.
On the roulette wheel. But if they put $500
on the Dolphins, we're good.
Dolphins, no problem.
Right.
Dolphins okay because they own ESPN. But God, I can go one step further. Okay, we put $500 on the Dolphins, but if we put $7 on Bet Black on roulette, we're bad people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's total hypocrisy. I mean, I always thought they should have just dove straight into it and got into gaming. downtown Disney would have been the coolest thing going, and you can definitely
You can
both exist.
you can separate church and state.
Yeah, and it's
The property is so huge. You can have an area where it's adult
adult
driven.
only.
Period.
Downtown Disney,
Yeah.
which they now are called Miami Springs, or not Miami Springs,
No,
Downtown Springs, or
Disney Springs. Yeah.
But the Downtown Springs would have been better than that. But so the hypocrisy is a little weird there, but that's what's going. So that's back to the sports betting. I don't know what's going to happen in the center of the state. Orlando would always go against gambling things.
Yeah.
But now maybe they're, even if it's a break even there, so they could get 60%.
I wish South Florida would break away from Florida.
Well, that's always another topic.
Because we're really 4 states.
4.
Yeah.
So we got Disney.
We got the Panhandle. We got Central Florida.
Oh, I forgot.
We got South Florida, and we got the Keys.
I forgot about the Redneck Riviera.
The Keys.
I forgot about the Redneck Riviera.
Yeah,
right.
The Keys are a whole different life, bro. They live a Bahamas-like life. They're chilling and relaxing.
Listen, there's 2 things.
It's all hustle and bustle from there, from outside the Keys on. But once you enter the Keys, you are entering another world, man.
So would it be correct to say there's 2 things? I tell everybody from the north, I said, I'm going to the Keys, and they don't really know what the Keys is, And so I said,
the state of the Keys.
I said, there's 2 things you do in the Keys. You fish and you drink.
That's it.
That's basically it. I mean, I guess you got to eat, but you eat everywhere.
Eat and sex too will be in there somewhere. They're all that's everywhere. But no, drinking and fishing is automatic in the Keys.
No, I happen to like to fish. I'm probably a lightweight on drinking.
Me too.
I'll socialize. I mean,
me too.
I'm a
total lightweight. Yeah.
If everybody's
couple beers and I'm done.
Yeah, I mean,
a drink or 2 and I'm done.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not.
Last night I went to dinner and I had my second glass of wine. I pushed it away. I was like, oh no, I don't want to drink that. Because when you're a lightweight,
and
quickly.
And wine also has a tendency of just kind of dragging on in your body for a longer time. I don't know about you, but I could have some vodka cranberry for I can have a couple of those and I'll wake up solid. I can have a couple of beers. I'll wake up solid. But, man, I have a couple glasses of wine, and I don't know, dude.
Well, I think the key word is draggy. I get like,
I'm
like slow move. I get into slow motion.
Yeah.
So last night I had my little wine. I had dinner. We're talking with a bunch of gaming guys last night, and guys and girls. And so I was worried because I had like, a glass and a half of wine. So I was starting to get a little tired, that knocks you down a little. So I said, let me have a cup of coffee. The guy brings over, I didn't realize until after I drank it, it was coffee, but it was an espresso, but it was big.
Oh. So you got the jolt.
So I sleep like a rock, normally. I hit the sack last night, and my eyes are wide open, and I'm staring at the ceiling. I went downstairs and started streaming something for about an hour and a half. I was like, what a total miscalculation there. But anyhow.
You were Tony Montana after a mountain of cocaine.
Wild. I was like, what happened to me? But the good, hey, look. Back to the picks. Let's see what the Jersey Wise guy does. He's feeling confident. He's getting a little bit. I had to push him around a little.
I don't know, but
he was like, whew,
ballsy. He's Bills minus 10.5, Cards minus 13, San Fran minus 9.5. Yep.
Now
the Calabro connection is.
I like the Packers. Packers to win, cover.
Okay.
That's. I think the spread on the Packers is not too bad. It's like. Let me look again. I have it right here. 4.5, and the reason is I think the Ravens put a fork in them. They're as good as their record is. I think they're done. There's a chance they may not. They have a good record right now, and there's a legitimate chance in my mind they may not make the playoffs. They could go that bad. I think something's wrong with the Ravens. And they got a great coach, but they got no running backs.
Yeah.
Lamar.
Well, they've lost so many. Yeah, Lamar's not a good quarterback. He's an athlete.
He's got the ankle injury.
He's an athlete playing quarterback.
It's like I don't know. Something's.
He's not the passer, bro. He's not a passer.
He's not bad.
He's an athlete playing quarterback, and if things aren't the way they need to be around him, he won't be nearly as effective, and that's what's going on.
He hasn't been the last 4 or 5 weeks. It's been a little bit rough.
He's had a mediocre year. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him a few weeks ago against the Dolphins, and it was like, who is this?
They attacked him because he can't play that game. He can't make a living from the pocket. He has to make a living with his legs.
Yeah.
And then the arm complements the legs. That's why I've never viewed him as a real franchise quarterback. A real quarterback makes a living from the pocket, like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson make a living from the pocket, but use their legs as a weapon.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is a running quarterback that is trying to play the passing game. And that's the difference between those kind of guys. Murray's a real passer. Russell's a real passer.
Yeah.
Lamar's a thrower.
So
like in baseball, we have those guys that can throw 95, 103, 104, but the ball doesn't move.
Yeah.
It's either 103 at the top, 103 at the bottom, 103. That's it. But there's not going to be a little dip in 97, 90. They can't do that. You know what I mean? And that's the guy that gets hit once they learn how to catch up to that ball, right? But the guy that can pitch, like Greg Maddux, can throw you at 86 miles an hour and strike you out, making you look silly because you thought it was in one spot and it went to the other spot. So to me, that's what Lamar is. Lamar is the thrower in baseball, whereas Brady, Russell Wilson, Mahomes, they are the pitchers in football.
Look, I agree with you, but I like Lamar. I think.
I love him as a kid, as a human being.
I think
he's super likable.
He's having a weird funk in the last 6 weeks. It's been really weird. It's been really strange. I think
he's that guy, just like Ryan Tannehill is. They need the environment to be perfect in order to thrive. If there's any chaos, they don't have the wherewithal to make others better because they don't have the arm talent, not the distance or the strength of the arm, all that, but the throwing skills to make everybody better. That's their problem. That's where guys like that struggle.
I got two more things.
All right.
So I was in the poker room here, and I overheard you talking about the Dolphins this week. Now, Dolphins this week, it's tough. They got COVID problems. Waddle now is on the COVID reserve. This is an issue. I mean, what's your thoughts about the game?
I still think they win.
I think they win.
I wouldn't lay the points. No. I wasn't going to lay the points anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not a Jet Dolphin game. No, dude, I've seen too many wacky Jet games where the Dolphins are way better than the Jets and the Jets beat them. And I've seen where the Jets are better than the Dolphins and the Dolphins beat them. So I think the Dolphins win.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I like their defense and I like Tua, and I think he's keeping everything in check. But I don't believe they even win by 10 points. I think they win by 5 or 6, 7 points is what they end up winning.
I'm not a coach, but this is what I think they should do this week.
I hope they win by 25, by the way. It would be great.
Well, here's what I think they should do. I think they should blitz on pretty much any and all plays they can.
They will. He's a turnover machine.
Yeah. So I mean, look, your offense has got some holes right now. So your defense has to really step up. So they do blitz a lot, which I love to watch the Dolphins.
Oh, they're going to confuse the crap out of that kid.
They have to blitz. If they normally blitz 20 times a game, they got to blitz 40.
They got to do what they did to Lamar.
Yeah. They just got to rattle and rattle and rattle. And so that's what I think hopefully happens. But there's one last thing. Now, I'm going to confuse everybody when I say this. So I'm talking to my Jersey Wise guy here, and he said, there was these two other games that I'm not picking. They're not in his top three, but he thinks they're going to be great games to watch. And he actually has. I'm going to mention them because when he listens to this, and if I don't mention him, he's going to yell and scream at me. And like I said, he knows where I live. So anyhow, he likes the Bengals at the Broncos. It's only a 2.5-point spread. He likes the Bengals. He thinks
Bengals are playing good, man.
He thinks that the Broncos are going to put the Bengals are going to put the Broncos out of their misery. They're going to be done for the season. This is what he thinks, and I might make mention of it. It's not the top three, and then I don't even agree a little with the next one. He likes the Colts at home against the Pats. Not even close. Not even close. I think both great coaches, Frank Wright, Belichick's going to win that game because he gets the bye, and the bye this year is really, really. He doesn't guarantee him the bye, but man, it puts him in a position to get the byes. So those are two really important games, I think.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Not on the Jersey.
No, I'm with you, and I think the Patriots obviously have done a great job. I think they will struggle in the playoffs now because if the kid can't really light it up. and he can't. They play him in a box, and they don't really put up a lot of points. That'll be a problem when we get to the playoffs.
Right. So that's my point. That's why he needs the
he needs a bye.
He needs the bye, and there's only one to be had.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody else in the AFC is kind of like piddle paddling. You know what I mean? And
that Patriot defense is good, man. That's the thing. They're playing really, really well, man. Really well.
That's it for the don't forget January 28th, great boxing match.
Yes, we have mentioned it several times. So we're looking forward to it.
Saturday, January 1st, we're giving away a Ford Bronco Sport.
Do they go to HialeahPark.com for tickets?
Yes, but they're not on sale yet.
They're
going to be on sale very soon. Frank's going to make that notification probably next week when we're on the air.
All right, good. All right, good stuff.
All righty.
And we'll have some tickets. We'll give away some tickets too,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Right. So we'll give away some tickets. So those of you that want to join us, we'll be there that night. Sean and I will be out there. We'll be broadcasting, obviously. We'll see what we end up doing. All right. Appreciate you, my brother. As always, thank you.
Thank you.
You are the best.
Good. And let's see what happens with this guy.
Yeah.
Because then I could get to push him around a little.
Yeah. But if he pulls those off, it's
done.
He'll like I'm betting the mortgage next week then.
All righty. All right.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.